Hello and welcome to this Bulldogs Sports Network National Signing Day Breakdown. I'm the voice of the Bulldogs, Rob Bentley, alongside Sandy Gholston. Ferris State announcing another signing class here today on National Signing Day. 33 prep student athletes have joined the Ferris State program. And Sandy, another great class announced by head coach Tony Annese and the Bulldogs after winning a third national championship this past year.
Well, it's always an exciting time when you have National Signing Day and you get a chance to see some of the fruits of the recruiting work that our coaches have really invested in. And when you're playing for a national championship and you're winning a national championship, 3 of the last 4 national championships, it puts you you're back against the wall in terms of getting a start on recruiting. But boy, you got to be excited about the class that the Bulldogs were able to bring here to Big Rapids to kind of keep this thing going. And so just a great recruiting class, hit a lot of our recruiting bases, protected our recruiting bases here in West Michigan, continuing to grow our recruiting base in Florida and other areas, Detroit area. So just a lot to feel good about with this class.
Obviously, the Bulldogs started right here in their own backyard in West Michigan and literally in their own backyard right up the road. Garrett Foster from Big Rapids High School. You had Rockford, Grand Rapids Catholic Central, some other players here from right here in West Michigan that have committed to the Bulldogs.
Well, we know the talent in West Michigan is awesome, and some great programs, some great coaches, including some programs led by former Bulldogs, including former Bulldogs that used to play for Coach Annese or worked with Coach Annese. And so it's exciting to see us be able to really get some great kids right here out of our backyard, literally just down the road in Big Rapids and across West Michigan. So we're definitely excited about that, and we know that fans that are in West Michigan, they're familiar with Ferris State, and they're going to continue to support their kids as they come to Ferris State, and that just adds to our fan base as well, in addition to being able to get some great kids.
Obviously, when Ferris State moves away from West Michigan, the Bulldogs tend to look towards Detroit, and obviously some great connections in terms of the coaches in the Detroit area, some great relationships that have really paid off for the Bulldogs in the southeast side of the state.
Yeah, Coach Annese has he feels like he has a recruiting pipeline everywhere across the state, but certainly down in the Detroit area, he's been very, very strong, getting some really talented kids out of Detroit, out of the metropolitan area, and just some really strong programs down there in the Detroit area. And so, again, we talked about West Michigan a little bit ago, but Detroit obviously hugely important to this Ferris State program. We had so many great players that come from the city and from the metropolitan area joining this program, and that tradition continues with this class.
Obviously, Ferris State has continued another pipeline to the state of Florida, the Sunshine State. 14 straight years. They've had at least a couple signees from the state of Florida in the last couple of years, 11 each year. So some outstanding talent that has found its way here to Ferris State in West Michigan.
Yeah, and what we've seen historically is that these are young men that are going to come in and play. And not only are they going to play, but they're going to play at a high level. And you start to look at the Florida kids that we've had play in our program over the years, you got to be really impressed. And so we're hoping that tradition will continue with this class, but certainly another big class of recruits from Florida, the Sunshine State. And, I'm sure after winning a national championship, rather than hanging out in Michigan, probably good to go down to Florida for more than one reason. But now you go down to Florida and get some sun, you also come back with some great players.
Of course, the players in this year's class obviously joining a program that's had a couple strong recruiting classes. Last year, the #1 recruiting class in the country, and we expect the Bulldogs to continue to build with some of these athletes they brought in here today.
Yeah, I think they feel pretty strong about continuing that tradition, and so we're definitely excited about that. And how it'll rank, we'll see how that plays out. But this is a strong recruiting class as you're going through the capsules, and obviously you work to develop those capsules. Not only are you seeing great players with some eye-popping numbers, players that are multiple sport athlete players, multiple sport athletes at a high level. We also saw a lot of honor roll students, so a lot of really strong scholar athletes here. So that's exciting as well.
Obviously, the Bulldogs landing all-state players, teams that have kids that have really led their teams to some great success in terms of postseason play, state championships, state playoff appearances, and always good to continue that winning tradition.
Well, I mean, Ferris State is a program that's raised the bar and is a program that has players that are expecting to win, has coaches that are expecting to win. And what you really want is to keep that going. And part of keeping that going is not only getting talented players, but getting players that come from strong programs with strong coaching staffs, programs that are in the playoffs, that are winning state championships. And we've been able to do that over the years. And so winning breeds winning. And so you love to bring in winning players to a winning program.
Ferris State, of course, now that signing day is complete, the Bulldogs into winter conditioning, and won't be long before spring ball starts here coming up in mid-March.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like it outside right now. Actually, maybe more today than it has some other days in the last few weeks. But that's getting going soon, and that's going to be exciting. One of the things I love about the spring season is we get a chance to see some of the young guys and guys that we were talking about right here in this setting a few years back and maybe last year. You're going to get a chance to see them a little bit more, start to grow and find their position in this program. And so that's going to be exciting. That's one of the things I really love about the spring season.
Ferris State football spring game coming your way on April 25th. Be sure to stay tuned to ferrisstatebulldogs.com for more information. This has been the National Signing Day Breakdown for Sandy Gholston. Rob Bentley with you here on the Bulldogs Sports Network.